Alright, Transformers fans, we just got a nice feast of the beasts with a brand new trailer look for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down some of the Easter eggs, hidden details, and things you missed in it. This won't be a scene-by-scene thing of what happens in this trailer, as it does cover some of the same footage we've seen of the other teasers and trailers, with a couple of different shots and things that flesh out what's happening. Therefore, I kind of want to go through all of the elements of this and explain exactly what I think is happening in this movie. I also want to talk about some of the plot leaks and potential cameos, tease that apparently are going to feature in this film, but I'll be saving those for the super duper crazy spoiler section at the end of this video. Transformers Rise of the Beasts is being featured at CinemaCon today, tonight. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea when, so hopefully at some point we'll hear more about this movie, which we'll of course keep you updated on, so stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you subscribe for that, and also please hit that thumbs up if you enjoy our Transformers breakdown. So to grease the wheels and get them moving, Rise of the Beast will be apparently taking heavy inspiration from one of my favorite 90s animated shows, Beast Wars. And in this, we saw robotic descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons, properly named the Maximals and the Predacons, get sucked through a time warp, essentially crash landing to Earth millions of years before civilization. They then took the form of animals because there was no vehicles and aircrafts, so it's just, beasts, aka the name Rise of the Beasts. Synopsis-wise, this takes place in 1994, being a very loosely based faux sequel to 2018's Bumblebee, which was set in 1987. However, it doesn't appear Haley Steinfeld's Charlie character will be making a return, with word that Rise of the Beasts is the first in a new Transformers trilogy, so yay! Unfortunately for all you Bay Ham fans out there, this isn't going to connect to the Michael Bay films that ruled the box office of the late 2000s and 2010s, but with this taking place roughly 20 plus years before, there could be some sly connections and Easter eggs. Hint, hint, we'll talk about them in the leaks portion later. But as far as Beast Wars goes, the main goal of that was to gather the parts to fix their trans-warp drive and return back home to Cybertron, which seems to be the case here in Rise of the Beasts. This is what causes the modern-day Autobots and Decepticons to team up with their counterparts of the Maximals and Predacons, who apparently have already made a presence here on Earth without them knowing. All of this may sound like gobbledygook to anyone unaware of the Beast Wars series, but let's break it down. The Maximals are the equivalent to Autobots, mostly taking the form of mammals, birds, or fish, while Predacons are essentially the Decepticons taking the form of reptiles, amphibians, and insects. But yeah, from the sounds of it, the main big baddie isn't going to actually be Megatron, the Decepticons, or even the Predacons, but rather an entirely different faction of the Terrorcons. Some of the lore around these dudes gets a bit messy here or there, but mainly they are disbanded Decepticons that are working directly with Galvatron. In Rise of the Beast, though, the leader of this group is going to be Scourge, voiced by Peter Dinklage, the Dink, and his mission is bringing Unicron to Earth to transform the planet into a Cybertron-like haven. So evil robot dude wants to take over our planet, but he's way more of a hunter-tracker type, essentially keeping trophies from his kills by fusing their insignias or the trophies onto his own armor like a badass Rambo robot. So he's like a living memorial to the havoc he's created, just badass man. But reeling things back a bit, in order to get this mega showdown ready, Rise of the Beast takes place, like I mentioned, mainly in 90s Brooklyn, New York, introducing Anthony Ramos' character of Noah Diaz as the, Sam Witwicky of this film. Said to be an ex-military electronics expert supporting his family, where he comes across the Autobot of Mirage. Now, Mirage has been a staple of the franchise, all the way back in the day, this time sporting the look of a silver-blue Porsche 964, and voiced by SNL alum and dude who is just getting all the ladies, Pete Davidson. Surprisingly, I've seen this a couple times, but they've compared him to the T-1000 from Terminator because I'm assuming he'll be able to morph his body into other cars? I don't know how. Hopefully no liquid cars. Please do not do that. On top of this, Rise of the Beasts is going to introduce Optimus Prime, voiced by Peter Cullen, RC, voiced by Liza Koshy, who appears to be the female commando holding onto the brown Volkswagen panel bus. The Volkswagen, though, is an Autobot scientist Wheeljack, voiced by Cristo Fernandez, and of course, our lovable yellow Corvette Bumblebee. We also know Dominique Fishback is going to be another leading human character, teaming up with Noah at some point, named Elena, said to be like an artifact researcher in New York, or the New York Museum, whose boss is like taking credit for her work. Again, I'm sure her and Noah are going to team up with the Autobots to help find the hidden trans-warp keys that they need to get back home. And joining the Autobots are the Maximals, the animal version of the Autobots, and going to include Optimus Primal, a giant gorilla and great pun name, voiced by Ron Perlman, Airazor, a Peregrine Falcon, voiced by Michelle Yeoh, Rhinox, of course, a rhinoceros, and one of my favorites from the animated series, who is the tech expert for the Maximals, voiced by David Sobolov, along with Cheetar, a cheetah who is said to be the rookie of the Maximal team. Now, hardcore Beast Wars fans, I'm right there with you. There is no word or visuals yet of Rat Trap, so fingers crossed for that little dude to show up. But a few others rounding out the lineup are the Autobot Stratosphere, voiced by John DiMaggio, who is essentially the Autobots' transport when they fly to what looks like Machu Picchu, and a character named Reek, who we don't really know much about right now, aside from the character being based on a mutual best friend of director Caples, who unfortunately passed away prior to the filming in 2001. A nice homage being played by Toby Wigwe, who is supposed to join Noah and the others on their globe-trotting journey. Some of the other terrorcons joining their leader Scourge are Freezer, who is a weapons artillery transport for the group, Nightbird, a female terrorcon and Scourge's right-hand commander, who transforms into a Nissan Skyline. I'm telling you, we're one step closer to a Fast and Furious Transformers crossover, baby! And the final two are Transit, who transforms into a school bus, and Battle Trap, who transforms into an orange GM Top Kick tow truck. Now, plot-wise, Rise of the Beasts continues the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons, with the arrival of the Maximals, Predacons, and Terrorcons changing the course of that conflict. Whether that's for the better or the worse, we'll have to wait and see. But Noah and Mirage's meeting and relationship is how the Autobots essentially team up with the other human characters, and the trans-warp keys are the main mission of the movie. With the Autobots needing to decipher some sort of ancient symbols like hieroglyphics, this is what brings Elena and sets the group out to find the artifacts, aka the warp keys. The journey to what looks like, again, Machu Picchu jungle environment leads to them unearthing the Maximals, who have been hiding on Earth for a while without the Autobots knowing. And speaking of the Autobots, they are actually fairly new to Earth, only arriving, at the end of Bumblebee. So Optimus Prime, for example, isn't your stoic, human-loving hero robot just yet. Instead, he doesn't really understand humans and what makes them so special, which will be an interesting development for the leader of the Autobots. But with the discovery of the Maximals comes the Predacons and, of course, the arrival of the Terrorcons, all after the same end goal. These big old battle scenes are the revival of the ancient conflict that the three factions of Transformers have been in for years. So I'm curious if we'll get a sneak peek of this conflict before they venture to Earth, or only the battles after the fact. Because some of these landscapes after everyone has teamed up look like more of an alien planet-like than, New York or even the lush environments of Machu Picchu, but hey, I guess we'll see. With this taking place in 1994, we get a shot of the New York City skyline, and the Twin Towers are still there because, this is pre-9/11. And it looks like the Maximals have been living in solace for some time in this jungle area, almost like an actual herd of animals just blending into their surroundings. And it's a bit of a shocker that other Autobots, like Optimus Prime here, not just the Maximals, have arrived to Earth. So this unknown alliance is definitely going to happen through this movie as we see or get a better look of the artifacts that are going to be at play, aka the trans-warp keys that they need to piece together to actually either travel back home or bring Unicron to Earth. Which I'm going to be honest, Unicron here looks hella weird, but also kind of cool. Inside of Mirage, we get a nice flashback of the times with the dash featuring nothing but a 90s throwback with the cassette player, and Noah is rocking some early Air Jordans if you take a close look. And there's a way better look at a whole bevy of these Transformers that are going to be in this movie, including Scorponok or Black Zarok, depending on the version that you grew up with. But yeah, like a load of these dudes. I think it's going to be like faceless monsters or machines for them to face, but looking spot on with his animated counterpart. Something else that is entirely new is this mech suit Noah's given by Mirage. This is why he was compared to the T-1000, because he gives part of his spark to him, creating a literal Mega Man super suit to help him fight during the end off everything, as you can see him holding on to Bumblebee's bumper during this final battle. So that pretty much wraps up the trailer, and I'm guessing now we'll just get a bevy, a whole bunch of TV spots and variations of the trailer that we've already seen with a couple added things sprinkled in. Hopefully, no more of Optimus Prime urging viewers for an intimate release, but I guess we'll see.
Let them come.
Now, there have been rumors around where the plot of the movie goes and how it potentially sets up a Rise of the Beasts sequel, so I want to dive right in to the plot leak portions of this video. Obviously, heavy spoilers are being thrown your way, so if you don't want to know anything more about this upcoming Transformers movie, then I recommend you roll out now. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door, and we'll see you next time. Take care, peace, bye-bye now, bye-bye, salutations. Okay, are all the GoBot fans gone now? Cool, so if you checked out our first trailer breakdown, then you know we talked about the rumored plot of Rise of the Beast, which mainly focuses around the Autobots and Maximals going head-to-head with the Terrorcons and Scourge, who is attempting to gather the transwarp keys to bring Unicron to Earth. On the other hand, the Autobots and friends want to use these transwarp keys to return back home to Cybertron. Now, one interesting thing about Scourge is that he is apparently going to be a reprogrammed version of Optimus Prime from the Bayverse. Again, only a rumor, but this would be on brand, taking a page from the 2001 animated Transformers Robots in Disguise series, where Scourge's origins turned out to be this, while also paying homage and kind of tying in, I guess the Transformers universe set of movies. Also from the leaked Scourge toys, his form seems to be very Prime inspired, just turning up that evil dial to an 11. One of the biggest heartbreaks is the rumored exclusion of any real predacons. I mean, Scorponok-like robots show up for a bit, but they are nameless, kind of generic machines for Scourge and or Prime to just get warmed up with. So anyone hoping for a proper Dinobot, Tarantulas, or even Waspinator, well, maybe in a sequel. But speaking of a sequel, there's supposed to be two different things that could potentially spin off Noah and, of course, the sequel. The first being a rumored scene of Noah being approached and recruited by Sector 7 towards the very end of the film. Now, Sector 7 is your stereotypical secret American government agency, which deals with extraterrestrial technology and threats. This organization has been featured a couple of times in the live-action movies, specifically John Cena's character from Bumblebee. And with that movie being set in 1987 and Rise of the Beasts taking place in 1994, this recruitment seems on brand and is maybe a way of bringing this organization into more of a spotlight. And with this supposedly being the start of a new Transformers trilogy, it's rumored that the featured mid-credit scene is teasing the next film featuring Unicron, which of course was what the Terrorcons were rumored to be motivated into bringing to Earth in Rise of the Beasts. Unfortunately, time travel, which played a huge prominent role in the original Beast Wars series, may be absent from the entire plot, which seems odd on how to really explain how the Maximals and Predacons got to Earth in the first place, but again, take everything with a grain of salt. Anyway, that is everything we know about Transformers Rise of the Beasts so far. The good, the bad, the confusing on why they are doing certain things. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts of this new Transformers movie? Does this sound like more of the same, or are you excited to see Beast Wars lore finally hit the big screen in live action? And I'll let you know, we're currently running a competition giving away 3 copies of Ant-Man Quantumania on the 15th of May, and all you got to do to get a chance of liking this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below on your thoughts of Rise of the Beasts. We pick the comments at random at the end of every single month, and the winners of last month are on screen right now. So if that's you, message us on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, be sure to check out some of our other cool videos over there. Great stuff. We just did a Flash trailer breakdown. Go and watch that. But with all of that out of the way, thank you so much for your constant support. I've been Jared. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and roll out.